We were chatting upstairs just a few minutes ago, and you guys were like, for the longest time we were considered kind of underground, and now we're out in front of so many people. How has life changed this year?
I mean, I think the biggest change is just the amount of exposure that our band is getting, but I think the good thing is that although there was maybe a little bit of fear of what that would bring to our band, the exciting part is that it just seems to be bringing a lot more of the same to our band. We seem to be attracting the same kinds of amazing fans we've always attracted, but just on a larger scale. And I think as a band, creatively, we needed to make Heartthrob. Like, I think we plateaued a little bit, and I think there's a danger, of course, in changing your sound up because you do run the risk of losing your core audience, but our core audience has come to us from so many different places. We've toured with The Killers and Neil Young and Ryan Adams and Paramore and like all these different bands, and we've collaborated with so many dance artists and rock artists over the years, and then we were on alternative radio and college radio, so like all of our fans come from different places, and so I think even on our part it was a bit short-sighted to think, oh well, if we change up our sound our audience will abandon us. I think our audience is attracted to us and the music and the community and the message, all of it. I don't think it is about being a part of a scene. I think in a sense we have no scene, and that's why we can sort of change it up. And we're not a band. We're just two writers who come together and make music. So I don't think we're as limited as some other projects. So it's been really cool. Like, it's been really exciting. I think it's allowed us to imagine a future. I think we've gotten to a point where we were like, well, what happens next? If we're just going to make the same records, I don't know that we would have stayed interested. So now with Heartthrob out in front of us, it feels like the world's our oyster.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You guys are all on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. Did you happen to see them perform with Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Yeah. How cool was that, right? That was awesome. Give me the backstory on that, Sarah.
Well, we knew that Taylor was a fan. We have some mutual friends, so when we actually had toured with Paramore, we sort of had known that she was aware of us, which was fairly weird for us. I mean, I think that we always see ourselves as, it's almost like we don't see ourselves as artists or in the same world or something. So we were definitely aware that she was a fan, and she's been inviting artists up on stage during this tour, and her manager reached out and asked if we would be interested in joining her on stage in Los Angeles and to play Closer, and we were of course thrilled. She's awesome. She's super smart. It was really inspiring to us. We're bossy. You actually witnessed our sound check, and you said, you didn't say we were bossy, but you said we were sort of trying out some new arrangements, and we were giving instructions and saying, oh, I don't like that, or I like this, or whatever, and you were commenting on that it's kind of cool to see. And I think for us as really strong leaders, we've always led this band, we've led our career. I saw something very similar in Taylor. We got on stage for soundcheck, and she has this confidence and this sort of leadership quality to her that I was teasing and saying, like, if she ran for like if she was a politician and she was running for president, I would vote for her. Like, she, she just has this ease with which she sort of moves through her world, and I was really, I think it was admirable, especially for someone who's so young. So I really saw something like-minded in her, even off stage, so it was very cool.
Very cool. Now, you also got to perform with Macklemore and sing Same Love, which is, it hits home in a hell of a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. How did that happen?
Sort of similar. Like, we know Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's manager, and we've done a bunch of festivals and touring this year where we've crossed paths, and we've been lucky enough to see Mary Lambert sing Same Love with them a few times, and the opportunity just came up. Our sets were sort of right next to each other at Osheaga, a big festival in Montreal, and they asked if we would be willing to come up and sing, and we were absolutely thrilled to do it, although very terrified as well. It's a huge festival. It's really different when you're just getting up in front of someone's audience, but this was just like such a huge, it felt like everyone at the festival was watching, so it was really quite terrifying. But everybody sang, so I felt like we didn't really have to do that much. Like, I feel like by the end of it, it was like 40,000 people were singing louder than us.
Big
so
karaoke.
It was very karaoke-esque. I was like, I don't have to do anything, I just have to take this in. But yeah, certainly from a personal standpoint, it was a beautiful moment for us. It's, we've been in the industry over 10 years, and we've always had really amazing support from our fan base, and it's super cool to see mainstream culture, pop radio, national companies and corporations, and now a lot of really important artists standing up for equality in America, and I think that Americans need to know that we have Americans have a huge influence internationally, and I think although things don't seem as extreme or as bad in America as they have been, things internationally are really terrible still for a lot of people who are LGBT, and I think that it's really sad and awful, and I think that the more movement and the more progress we make in America, the better world that we're making for everybody else too, and I think that Macklemore and Ryan Lewis standing up and speaking out about something that's obviously very important to us, but also to so many people, it was like a really exciting moment for us because there were so many years where I was like, I wish we had more allies, like, you know, because we had so many friends in the industry, so many bands who love us, but I just never saw them speaking out on behalf of us.